Today we continue our World War II series. Now remember, we've ditched the century part of our date, because surely you can remember that World War II happened in the 1900s, right? Right? Well, we're just going to be doing the month and year. So today's date is April 1944, or 444, Operation Ichi-Go, or as the Chinese called it, the Battle of Henan, Hunan, Guangxi. These were technically three major battles as part of the Second Sino-Japanese War. The battles took place in Henan, Hunan, and Guangxi provinces. The Japanese plan was to link up vital railways and create a land route to French Indochina, currently occupied by Japan. They also wanted to capture air bases in southeast China before American bombers could use them to attack the Japanese homeland. 500,000 Japanese troops fought in the operation against roughly 1 million Chinese. As the battle progressed, American squadrons had to move to different airfields. During the defense of Hongyan, 17,000 Chinese forces held off 100,000 Japanese troops. Japan succeeded in their goal of reaching Indochina. However, there were few practical gains. US forces, for example, simply moved their bases further inland. The 14th Air Force, operating in Kunming, would go on to attack the railway Japan set up in the wake of the operation, mitigating its usefulness. The Japanese lost 100,000 men in the battle, but also lots of material and equipment they could ill afford to lose. One of the most important outcomes was the breakdown in the relationship between the US and nationalist China, which controlled most of mainland China at the beginning of the war. Joseph Stilwell, who commanded American forces in the China-Burma theatre, used the Japanese successes at Ichi-Go to demand from Chinese nationalist leader Chiang Kai-shek that he take control over the whole Chinese forces, or American land lease would be taken away. Although Roosevelt had given Stilwell permission to do this, it was a diplomatic disaster. Chiang got Stilwell replaced with General Albert Wedemeyer, and the breakdown of relations between the US and the nationalists led to more anti-nationalist journalists, once barred from speaking out, to release criticism of the nationalists, which pushed the communists more into the US public eye, who was seen more as revolutionary and in line with US goals. Operation Ichi-Go's longest-lasting impact is that in the areas of China disrupted by the Japanese during the battles, started to give support to Chinese communists. Greater and wider communist support across China and nationalist failures in the war led to the restarting of the Chinese Civil War post-World War II. To remember this date, let's take China and Indochina. And between them is a line of nationalist flags to defend them both, with the Japanese flags opposite, starting the battle. And as the attack starts to begin, the Japanese flags eventually break through, and they march through China towards their objective. And as they march, this line of troops starts to resemble 444. April the 4th, 1944, or 444, very easy to remember, Operation Ichi-Go, or the Battle of Henan, Hunan, Guangxi, part of the Second Sino-Japanese War. Thanks for watching.